Hear now the word of the Lord. As it is written in the first book of Samuel, we'll be reading portions of chapters 3, 4, and 5. Chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is chapter 2, beginning at verse 12. Now the sons of Eli were corrupt, and they did not know the Lord. And the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered a sacrifice, the priest's servant would come with a three-pronged flesh hook in his hand, and while the meat was boiling, and then he would thrust it into the pan or the kettle or cauldron or pot, and the priest would take it for himself, all that the flesh hook brought up. So they did in Shiloh to all the Israelites who came there. Also, before they burned the fat, the priest's servant would come and say to the man who sacrificed, "Give meat for the roasting to the priest, for he will not take boiled meat from you, but raw." And if the man said to him, "They should really burn the fat first, then you may take as much as your heart desires," he would then answer him, "No, but you must give it now, and if not, I will take it by force." Therefore the sin of the young men was very great before the Lord, for the men abhorred the offering of the Lord. Beginning of chapter 4. And the word of Samuel came to all of Israel, and all of Israel went out to battle against the Philistines and encamped beside Ebenezer, and the Philistines encamped in Aphek. Then the Philistines put themselves in battle array against Israel, and when they joined battle, Israel was defeated by the Philistines, who killed about 4,000 men of the army in the field. And when the people had come into the camp, the elders of Israel said, "Why has the Lord defeated us today before the Philistines? Let us bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord from Shiloh to us, that when it comes among us, it may save us from the hand of the enemies." So the people sent to Shiloh, and they brought, that they might bring from there the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, who dwells between the cherubim. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of God. And when the ark of the covenant of the Lord came into the camp, all of Israel shouted so loudly that the earth shook. Now when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, "What does this sound, the sound of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews mean?" Then they understood that the ark of the Lord had come into the camp. So the Philistines were afraid, for they said, "God has come into the camp." And they said, "Woe to us, for such a thing has never happened before. Woe to us, who will deliver us from the hand of these mighty gods? These are the gods who struck the Egyptians with all of the plagues in the wilderness. Be strong and conduct yourselves like men, you Philistines, that you do not become servants of the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Conduct yourselves like men and fight." So the Philistines fought, and Israel was defeated, and every man fled to his tent. There was a very great slaughter, and there fell of Israel 30,000 foot soldiers. Also, the ark of God was captured, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, died. In chapter 5. Then the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. When the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon, and they set it by Dagon. And when the people of Ashdod arose early in the morning, there was Dagon, fallen on his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. So they took Dagon, and they set him up in his place again. And when they arose early the next morning, there was Dagon, fallen on his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. The head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were broken off on the threshold. Only Dagon's torso was left of it. Therefore, neither the priests of Dagon nor any who came to Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod to this day. But the hand of the Lord was heavy upon the people of Ashdod, and he ravaged them and struck them with tumors, both Ashdod and its territory. And when the men of Ashdod saw how it was, They said, "The ark of God of Israel must not remain with us, for his hand is harsh towards us, and Dagon our God." Therefore they sent and gathered to themselves all the lords of the Philistines and said, "What shall we do with the ark of God of Israel?" And they answered, "Let the ark of God of Israel be carried away to Gath." So they carried the ark of God of Israel away. So it was after they carried it away that the hand of the Lord was against the city with a great destruction, and he struck the men of the city, both small and great, with tumors, and it broke out on them. Therefore they sent the ark of God to Ekron. So it was that the ark of God came to Ekron, and the Ekronites cried out, saying, "They have brought the ark of God of Israel to us to kill us and our people." So they sent and gathered all the lords of the Philistines and said, "Send the ark of the God of Israel away. Let it go back to its own place, so that it does not kill us and our people." For there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city. The hand of God was very heavy there. And the men who did not die were stricken with tumors, and the cry of the city went up to heaven. Our final lesson is from a little work called The Doctrine of Life Concerning the Ten Commandments, Numbers 56. Now, because of the absolute holiness of the church lays within its law, or the Ten Commandments, the ark was brought by David to Zion, and at a later time it was placed in the middle of the temple of Jerusalem and constituted its inmost parts. On account of the Lord's presence within and around the law, miracles too were accomplished by means of the ark in which the law resided. There were, for instance, the miracles when the waters of the Jordan were split apart. And while the ark was resting in the middle, the people went across on dry ground. When the walls of Jericho collapsed as a result of it being carried round them, and when Dagon, the god of the Philistines, fell to the ground in front of the ark. And after this lay over the threshold of the shrine, severed from its head, when several thousand people of Beth Shemesh were struck down because of it, and besides many other miracles. All these things happened solely because of the Lord's presence in his 10 words, that is, in the commandments of the Decalogue. Another reason why such great power and holiness existed within the law was that it embraced the whole of religion, for it consisted of 2 tablets, one of which contains everything relating to God, and the second embraces everything relating to the people. The commandments of the law are consequentially called the 10 words. This they are called because the 10 stands for everything. Interestingly, on the other tablet, speaking about the tablet for people, on the other tablet, which is for persons, it does not say that a person must perform this or that good deed, but that a person must not perform this or that evil deed. It says, "You shall not commit murder or adultery or steal or bear false witness or covet." The reason why is that people cannot do anything good from self, but when they do not perform evil deeds, they then do what is good not from self, but from the Lord. The truth that people are able, by the Lord's power, if they earnestly seek it, to shun evil deeds as if from himself, will be shown in what follows. Here end our lessons. Blessed are those who hear the word of God and keep it.